So the reason why I got you guys here today is because I'm just gonna ask you questions about healthcare professions.
The way they explain, I feel comfortable with the way they explain things, especially for a person like me, if I don't understand something they're saying, and I'm like, can you explain it in more depth so then I actually understand what you're saying? Because sometimes, I misinterpret things quite often.
What's the best way to communicate with you?
Well, usually sometimes when appointments are booked, they're usually on the phone to me. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's a little bit bad as well.
Possibly phoning or emailing.
I like it face to face and talking to people face to face.
Yeah, I think as long as they're elaborating it, that's the best way for me to actually understand. And then they can explain to me the actual problem, if there is any, concern, or if there is anything that, I need to be treated for, or, yeah, I feel like that's the best way to go through it. Otherwise, then I'm not going to understand and walk out not knowing what's being said to me.
Oh, she finds it. Natasha finds it difficult sometimes to give out information.
Yeah.
Yeah. She is good at listening, but sometimes giving out information on what things to do better. It's more difficult for her to do that.
Why is my GP great?
Yeah.
So basically, they've got a system where if you're unwell, you call them up when they open, and then basically, when you call them up when you open, you can ask them for an appointment on the day.
So it's better to have a connection with the doctor, because then they both care about each other. Because if it's an average patient, they don't know you before, so they don't really try to put as much effort as if you guys have a connection.
Is it really important to know somebody very well?
Yes, it is. So just in case, should they struggle with any problems, someone who knows them really well and what they go through, they can help you understand.
The person that actually saw me he didn't understand what was going on with me. He was basically saying that nothing was wrong. He was basically giving all this advice that was completely not the right advice to give. It wasn't going to help me at all. So then they put me for a second opinion, and the second opinion managed to work out very well.
That what could be done better is more locations of where the appointments are supposed to take place.
Well, once I went to doctors and I was I had something wrong with me. I was oh, I can't do anything like that. I can't help you or anything. I'm but I need help.
Take your time.
Just make sure there's nicer people that can actually help you. And
obviously, I like them to explain why they've prescribed it and what it's for. And then I like to know, how many times I've got to use it, for how long. And then it just clarifies it a bit more.
Just actually help you if you need help or something, and give you something.
Obviously, when people suffer, do you think a type of activity, physical activity, like boxing, for example, is the way of how to relieve the stress and anxiety?
Boxing is literally a prime example of that. You come here and then you meet new people, you get physical activity, and then it's you're here and you're vibing with people that are also in the same boat as you, so it's just it's calm.
It has impacted my life in many ways. First of all, I was in trouble with the law a couple years ago, and I was in a pretty bad situation where I was unemployed, still having thoughts about going back into that lifestyle. But then luckily George took me under his wing, took me into a couple of places, opened doors for me. The fact that Carney's community was able to bring her out of her house, out of her bubble, out of her shell, is brilliant. I respect Carney for what they do for young people, because if Carney didn't help me out, I would still be in that situation which I just mentioned not long ago.
Not I didn't care about other people, but they didn't affect me, like I didn't know their stories. Now working there, I see that a lot of young people are having struggles, you know. It's not just one or two, there's many young people here who like struggle with either issues at home or whatnot, or maybe like they're not in the best financial positions. And so me being able to work here and help them out, it's really positive thing. You know, I'm happy to be a part of it.
Building back up, like it may sound crazy, but your actual brain, like it literally just helps with building your fundamentals in that way.
Yeah.
And like sometimes it helps with figuring out like what you want to be, stuff like that. You can find people here, network here.
When I first started here, I was in the best of shape. You know, I was smoking, I was doing things I shouldn't be doing. And then obviously as I started to take boxing more seriously, I had to take my health more seriously as well.
Yeah, I think prescribing equipment is a good idea because for one, I don't think people are in the positions to afford it.
They need to go into schools. For example, there's a school not too far from here called Guy Park. That school specialises for people with needs. So I feel like if the NHS go into schools and tackle it from early, there'll be less stress, less hassle.
A young girl I had to speak to because she was going through a lot, and I'm not going to say her name, but she used to self-harm. She used to self-harm as well, which I used to do. So I had to give her advice if you're going through a lot, you can always talk to Carney's here. You can talk to me. If you're going through a lot, you don't need to suffer in silence alone.
I mean, obviously in the past with other GPs, I have had difficulty in the past.
Well, with me, yes, because sometimes when it's the same question over and over again, it can make me rather upset.
Sometimes be a bit rude.
Yeah, it's like sometimes when it just, I know it, like some people find it hard, but then to process things
Just because I'm a young person, maybe got disabilities, I think, maybe.
Well, first I'll probably figure out a way to shorten the time that it takes to get a prescription.
I also think the NHS should give out free inhalers, free asthma pumps, just all the basic the kid needs and all the essentials and all the things he's entitled to.
I don't think enough people know how much it's important to have your prescription on time and to make sure you're keeping in contact with that doctor that deals with that prescription. Yeah, I think prescribing equipment is a good idea because for one, I don't think people are in the positions to afford it. So having equipment there that is on call for young people in general to use and utilize and stuff, I feel like is a good, and also knowing it's there as well, knowing it can be called for whenever you need it. And I feel like since it's quite an expensive piece of equipment, like a camera for example, you don't really see people dealing with it too much. So I feel like it would be a good activity for young people in general, just to fiddle about with it, get to know it, and yeah.
Relieve the stress and anxiety.
A lot of them are quite oldish people. Not all saying older people, but...
Definitely, for me it was boxing, but I wouldn't even say you need to go out and do something like boxing. You can just go out and just enjoy the day, making sure that you're getting outside and not in the comfort of your own space. I feel like a lot of people disregard the fact that if you stay in one place for a long time, you'll eventually start getting mentally ill.